What's happening, everyone? Before this next leg of podcast show starts, this is a reminder to you not to be a minge bag. Go over to Patreon, sign up for £1 a week and take advantage of all the Patreon perks. It is the Patreon that pays. We have a betting show on a Saturday, which the postman here is picking winners every single week.
Yeah, the betting show comes out Saturday mornings, covers UFC and boxing, footy when we're in the footy season. But yeah, we're winning on a weekly basis. I can't remember the last week we didn't find some sort of winner. So yeah, as Andy says, don't be a minge bag, come and get involved. And as I say, it's one of the best communities that you could be a part of, isn't it?
It's a belter. As well as the betting show on a Wednesday, me and Jord have a chat. That's where you might have seen on our Insta Reels about crocs, about harpooning people at the end of the night, all that kind of chat that goes on. And even better, every single Wednesday we do a raffle draw, and our sponsors Montrex give £100 gift voucher away just for being on Patreon. No better time to join. There's 30 plus episodes already that you can go back and watch. Again, no better time. Get involved. Don't be a minge bag. £1 a week, and we'll see you there. What's happening, everyone? It's the Sportscast. It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan Neild.
What's happening, everyone? Really sorry to have to do this, but as with everything this past week, me and Jordan have had a little chat, and we have decided to cancel this week's show in respect to Her Majesty the Queen, who sadly passed away last week. So,
God save the King.
God save the King, and apologies, but we'll see you next week. Oh, God! As fucking if. Long live the fucking podcast is what I say.
Long live match of the day.
Fucking hell. If you want to hear us moaning about the Queen, go on to Patreon. I fucking moaned enough about it this week.
I hope someone's really sat on the just about to do the commute there and going, oh, you're mad. Up the M6 or something. We're back. We're here.
We're back. We're back here, obviously, with our sponsors, Montrex. Don't forget, though, we give away £100 every single week if you're on Patreon. We must have give away close to what?
£500 now, isn't it?
Is that how many weeks? 5 weeks. So, yeah. If you like your Montrex and you want to win £100 gift voucher, get on them. It's on Patreon. Also, you've got Ver Clothing. Belt, you get 20% off with Lega 20. And also Health Kick Kitchen for all your scran needs. All Liverpool-based companies, all been supporting the pod. So go and support them and get involved.
And Red Bull.
Apparently Red Bull as well.
This is for the tired parents among us. Sugar-free though. You can't go on the hard Red Bull, man.
On Patreon, just that reminded me, one of the perks on Patreon is we do a Wednesday show where me and Jordan answer questions from anyone who supports on Patreon. Have a bit of a laugh at some of the answers. And one of the things was bad parenting, and someone had said they'd seen a parent like dragging around the kid around the supermarket when the kid was like 2 or something, with a can of Red Bull.
Heavy that. Do you know what? Red Bull. I like the sugar-free one, but I don't know if it's because I'm very busy at the minute and got kids, whether I need it or I like it. But have you ever seen Trent Alexander-Arnold with his?
It's like, does he get paid every time?
Yeah, so he's like a Red Bull athlete, isn't he? So he's getting paid an absolute fortune. So he'll hold one of these in the tunnel, and you can just see his face every time he goes, and you can just see him thinking, "Oh my God, that's the worst thing I've ever tasted."
But I'm getting paid a grand every time it's fucking get shown.
And then as soon as he's out the tunnel, he's gone.
I used to hear a rumour that, when the players do the interviews after the game and they held up a bottle of Lucozade, it was every time that shows, you get like £500 or something.
Oh mate, there's so many.
I'd just be walking around holding like as many of them as I could.
Yeah, I learnt about just what goes into like a sportsman's contract the other day, because George Groves, the boxer, he's now got a podcast called the George Groves Boxing Club, and basically it's like behind the scenes in boxing. So he had his lawyer on, who's obviously formulated all his contracts, and they read out, like, they didn't say what fight it was from, but they read out a contract of his and all the clauses and stuff in there. Do you know, in boxing contracts, there'll be stuff like no watching like pay-per-view in your hotel room. So basically, like, if you're bored, you can't be throwing the porn on. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Like, there's like no long distance phone calls. Like, so if they have a fighter over, who's then just on the phone to his family back in Australia. But it was like some of the stuff that's in it. And to be honest,
probably stuff you don't even think of.
Yeah,
but listen, lad, it will have been put in there because someone's been stung along the way.
But it was like sort of he was basically saying, when you think about what can stop a fight, he was like, look at the intricacies in this. Like, there was one fella, an example, who the lawyer spoke about, but didn't say his name, and he's worked with all the top fighters. He wouldn't go ahead with a fight because on the fight posters, do you know when they stand like that either side, his elbow was behind. Like, so as you're looking at the poster square on, his elbow was theoretically behind his opponents, and he said, "No, I'm not doing it. Not fighting until my elbow's in front of his."
Is that mind games or pettiness?
Ego, I think. But he was just saying, like,
Wow.
this lawyer was really good, and he was saying, like the benefits of having a really good lawyer or someone who knows what they're doing when you come into contracts. He's saying every time you met Eddie Hearn, Eddie used to say, "Oh, I hate you.
Yeah.
Like, you're making me do my job properly." You know what I mean?
Well, did you see on Amir Khan's and Gary Neville's overlap? Amir Khan said the reason that he never fought Mayweather was because Amir Khan announced the fight before Mayweather did.
Yeah.
And Mayweather went, "I'm not fucking doing it."
Yeah, that's a real thing. When they call it the Mayweather clauses or something like that, it was like a thing years ago. Because like once you signed a contract to Mayweather, you was his mate. Wow. You were fighting to his dance, quite literally in the ring, and the whole lead up to it as well.
Mad. Yeah, interesting. So
what a mad week.
We're gonna have to just touch on it, aren't we? There's not a lot of football to talk about because everything seems to, you know, this island that we live on, which is becoming more and more, I feel like Shutter Island. Have you seen that film?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on Shutter. Did you?
Asked me missus, and she was so annoyed.
That's one of the best films I've ever seen.
Brilliant, but from early doors I called it.
Anyone who's not seen it, basically a load of psychopaths stuck on an island. It seems a little bit like the UK at the minute. Again, I'd more of a rant on the old Patreon, but it's a fucking joke now. It's an absolute joke.
Yeah, I mean, like, I was really annoyed by it last weekend. Because if I'm right, the Queen died Friday.
Thursday, wasn't it?
Thursday, all right. And then I didn't really understand what stopping sport on a Saturday was really achieving. I mean, if there was...
Well, and this weekend as well.
Yeah, exactly, this weekend. But I think this weekend's a policing issue, isn't it? A lot of the London games. But again, it's a whole other sort of conversation. But if she had passed away on a Saturday, I could quite understand if the country went, right, you know what I mean? It's one day, she's died today, whatever. But like 48 hours after, I don't really understand what the problem was with sport. It's not disrespectful. It's not disrespectful to go and to watch sport.
Why was rugby union allowed to play?
Exactly, and cricket. But it was the fact that, and even when, you know, all this mad stuff about we're not playing sport because we don't think everyone's going to respect it. Liverpool got tarred with that brush, and then, I mean, apart from a couple of lone voices, the minute sounds was
held up impeccably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy for you to say.
Do you know what I'm dying to say though? You know, if you don't actually mention like the Queen, but you just say something which would hopefully be a little bit funny, but like an actual thing. It's interesting, isn't it? Like, because let's just say I know a nonce, right? And the bin men who also know this nonce now don't ever pick up his bin because the bin men have decided he's a fucking nonce, you know, not gonna pick his bins up. Everyone would think that bin man was a legend, wouldn't they? They'd be like, fucking is right, the bin men, they know he's a nonce, fuck him.
Stick it to the man.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Now let's say I know another nonce, right? And let's say his mum bailed him out and paid someone who'd been sexually abused loads of money to keep her noncy son out of jail, right? You'd think that's horrible, that. Do you know what I mean? But we live in a world where a similar kind of thing has happened, and this person's praised.
Rules need not
now
apply.
I've not hopefully got myself into any shit because I've not said anything about anyone.
No names.
But that's the kind of anyway.
I think
fucking wind me up to fuck.
I mean, the whole week just in general has been very, very, very weird. But I think the biggest thing for me was like I felt for like Shields Marshall last weekend. They are sole traders in boxing. Like them two fighters foot the bill for everyone who comes along. Trainer, nutritionist, you know, even people in the team that, you know, whether it's a psychologist, anyone. So they foot that bill. So when they get paid at the end of that fight, they then go, right, here's my overheads. So just because the fight got cancelled, them overheads still stay there. And now it's been rescheduled for a couple of weeks' time. So then the overheads carry on. But also they've done 10 weeks of getting themselves perfect for that date.
One date, yeah.
Then they've got to have a week off or a couple of days off and go again. I wouldn't be surprised the fight really got impacted by that, and it's not as good a fight as it was going to be.
Will they go back home to America, do you think, or stay here?
I don't know. I really don't know, because it's sort of too long to stay. Because again, where are you staying and how much is it costing? But it's also too short to go back. Because if you fly back to wherever Clarissa Shields is based, do another couple of weeks training, get back into the routine over there, then come back to the UK, deal with jet lag all over again. It's a mess. It's a complete mess, and there was no reason for that fight to be called off.
No,
you don't. All the medical professionals would have been allowed to be there. I'm sure they could have given a couple of police officers that you need at a boxing event, which it really is genuinely a handful of police because everything else is private security. It just it didn't make any sense to me, and
it felt like a lot of virtue signaling, you know, people trying to look like they're doing the right thing, even away from sport. I mean, people were just going above and beyond to act like bellends, Centre Parks. Do you see what they done?
Yeah, you can come back Tuesday.
So I'm meant to be coming Friday, but on Monday you've got to fuck off for 24 hours and come back.
Someone wrote saying, "Can I leave me luggage?" And you were like, "Yeah, just come back Tuesday."
Yeah, I know, but they've changed it now, haven't they? Yeah.
Well, I
just
don't know.
because everyone got onto it and was just like,
it was just a baffling week. But you know, sport was.
I think we're preaching
really
to the converted. I think if you like the LIV podcast, you like me and George, I'm imagining you're probably on the similar kind of view. Yeah, I personally think it's sad that, you know, 96-year-old woman's died. Yes, she's the queen. Okay, let's kind of carry on with our normal lives and the more pressing issues at hand is my kind of view on it. But yeah, we can't help but not mention it because it fucking affected everything. One thing it didn't affect this week was the Champions League, thankfully.
We got a win.
I actually fell asleep, you know.
I know. You messed me, didn't you?
I was on the couch and I don't know, I just 60 odd minutes I fell asleep.
I think watching the game as a whole, there was more positives in terms of the jump to Joel Matip playing is just huge. Even probably, I know Konate's a good player, but Matip starts every game for me if he's fit.
100%.
Thiago the same. Thiago definitely wasn't 100% fit, but just having him there.
I watched the highlights back, mate. He is a fucking baller in, by the way.
But it's the stuff he's starting to do now off the ball. He was setting the tone a lot. And, you know, he was a bit rusty in terms of, you know, not everything was coming off, but his presence just being there. And Jota didn't play great, but again, it was a presence
chasing a lot, though,
it was
wasn't
a presence of being there, and you know that pass for Salah's goal was a good pass that we probably weren't making in recent games. But then again, you flip it on the other side, there was still a couple of under par performances. Núñez comes on and doesn't do much. It's like you got to weigh it up, haven't you? Give or take.
Listen, I'm not gonna nowhere near, you know, pin myself to fucking the kind of Núñez's crap kind of master, nothing like that, but I honestly do think it was not a bad buy, let's say, but it's a lot of money to pay for someone who's had one good season. It's
a lot. I mean, the market dictates in football now, doesn't it? I get that, but the problem for me now is, I know we were joking in pre-season when I was saying, you know, he looks terrible and stuff. I actually don't think he's terrible at all. I just think there's now an insane amount of pressure on him brought onto him by himself. Now everything he does doesn't help that Haaland is probably one of the greatest strikers the Prem's ever seen, well, looking like that. And then, you know, because he got sent off and because he hasn't set the world, every time he touches the ball, it's like, where's the goal? Where's this? Where's that? And is that right? I don't know, but that's the way of the world.
Oh, listen, I've got no doubt he'll go on and be a decent player for Liverpool, and hopefully, listen, I wish more than anyone he hits the heights and, you know, he becomes something anything near what Salah has been doing. It'd be great. But like you've just said, then the money paid, he had one belter season last season. He scored a few against us. I think before that he scored 6, it might have been. Before that he scored 12 in the Spanish second division. I mean, listen, Klopp knows more than me, but I'm a little bit like, fucking hell.
I think you've got to give him time. You know, you can't sit here and write him off in, in September. But also you have to hold him to the same standards that Liverpool have been held to.
Yeah.
So if he's just good to come into this team, you don't get the time to go, I'm just bedding in. Do you know what I mean? You don't get to bed in these days.
No.
You have to hit the ground running, and he hasn't.
No, I think one positive is obviously Matip does get that winner in the end, and it's the type of game that potentially you could argue and say, oh, that was the turning point.
Yeah.
You know, we've went and kicked on. Obviously, time will tell, but obviously it had the feeling of it, you know, not one of the mega special European nights, but, you know, listen, it was a last-minute winner in the Champions League, which is always nice, and got us the 3 points which we needed after the Napoli display. I think as great as that was, and I think any time Liverpool, I think this season, as it's been for a few years, in my eyes, it's any time we do something, just because of the sheer standards that Liverpool and Man City have set. As soon as Liverpool do something, it's like, right, eyes on City now, what can they do? And the problem was 24 hours later, they have their star man that they've just bought, and they do that.
Do you know what though? I watched the game, right, and I thought, I even texted my dad saying it. I was like, Dortmund have set a bit of a blueprint here on how to contain Haaland, how to, play against City, because City looked really bad. Like,
first half, Dortmund were brilliant.
Bellingham was outstanding. So was Emre Can, by the way.
Muller was great at the back for them.
Like Mats Hummels as well.
Hummel, that's it.
Meunier at right back, they were just solid. But then you give him not even a sniff. I mean, the pass from Cancelo is exceptional. Like, you just don't pick them out.
No.
And then you give, that's not even a half chance.
No, it's just fuck.
And Carragher tweeted yesterday night, he tried against us in the Community Shield. He's tried it before. That's so hard to do, mate.
It's his athleticism.
I know.
Like, how's he getting his leg that high? And he's
Pep called him elastic, didn't he? And he actually, it's like, but it's not natural, because if you jump like that, you should be going with your foot furthest away from the ball, because the ball's travelling that way, you're travelling that way. Natural physics. Yeah. He goes that way, and then his leg coming this way.
Still uses left foot,
That's not natural. Not to generate that much power.
He's an absolute... I've seen a stat on him, and if he carries on the kind of form that he's in, Haaland will hit 102 goals this season.
Oh my God. Do you know what, though? If I was to sit here now and say, let's even come down a bit. If I was to sit here now and go to you, do you want to have me a bet that Haaland scores 80 goals this year? That's the bet. I'm saying he is. You're saying he isn't, and we've got £50 on it. Would you take the bet?
You're saying he would.
Yeah, so it's either way. You could be saying, would you take that bet?
I wouldn't like to bet against it. No,
that's what I mean.
I'd be nervous, which sounds fucking ridiculous.
That's what I mean. Would you be nervous taking that bet?
But he's played 7 games this season.
Yeah.
So no, he's played.
I don't know what
eight games he's played, I think, and he's scored 10 in the league and 2 in the Champions League.
Let me have a look at the. I don't even.
It's ridiculous.
I was just about to get his stats up, but I'm just hoping my MacBook doesn't load, because I don't even want to see them.
Well, he's played 10 games in the Prem. 6 games in the Prem and scored 10 goals.
That's outstanding.
And he's played 2 in the Champions League, hasn't he? And
yeah, he scored a couple against Sevilla.
Oh, did he get 2 against Sevilla? Did he?
I think he got a couple.
Oh, I need to check this out then, because that's the problem though. Which bringing it back to Liverpool for a second though, it's like we already knew at the start of the season that we were going to have to be on fire. City are going to be on fire. We were kind of praying and hoping that this, our new lad would be on fire, because we knew their new lad would be on fire. And already it's just turning into this, like, who the fuck is this guy? So in the league, he's played 6, scored 10. And in the...
He's played 2 in the Champions League and scored 3.
Well, there you go.
So he's played 8 games and he scored 13 goals with 1 assist. That is quite...
Yeah, it's...
frightening. And he's not going to World Cup.
Is he not?
No. I don't... At this point, as a Liverpool fan, I'm not. I know why a lot of Everton fans or our rivals are taking happiness that we've had the best striker in the league for a couple of years. At some point, you just have to sit there and go, okay, like, you've got one, well done.
As a weird thing though, as a footy fan, I'm like made up. Like, I wanted to watch that game last night because I just wanted to watch him.
Yeah, he just gets you in, doesn't he? I mean, the game at Anfield, I'm really not looking forward to that.
No.
But in the back of my head, I'm like, because Virgil's out of form so much, will he be looking at that going, that's the game for me? Like, if I dominate that, then I'm back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what confidence do you have?
No. Chelsea, despite the new manager Potter coming in, just a 1-1 draw.
But what do you think about Potter going Chelsea?
I think it's a poison chalice, isn't it, for starters? He's only going to get 3 years and then he's going to be gone.
Yeah. I mean, if I was him, I probably would have wanted to hear all them crazy remarks the owner's been making before I signed my contract.
That was mad.
He wants an all-star game, North versus South.
Yeah.
And he wants to build the dome that's on the Champions League anthem. The stadium, so that stadium hosts the Champions League every year.
I think that Karen made a great point. He's come in and he hasn't even successfully run a football team yet, and he's already telling basically the English clubs what he thinks they should do. I think it's just disrespectful. And I think, again, Karen made a good point. You know, ideas are all right. It's nice having different ideas and a different kind of look on things. But fucking hell, lad, have a break.
I think Carrigan nailed it in saying that. It wasn't the idea. So saying we should have an all-star game is a debate, okay? Every other sport does it, you know, it's a debate. Do you want to see it, do you want not, or whatever. But it's the fact that he's like, why haven't you got one of these?
Yeah.
You do, like, what are you doing? Like,
we made 200 million on a Monday and a Tuesday there just for one game.
Yeah.
We should be doing the same. And then, like Klopp says, go on, when do you want to play it? Find a date. Because already...
Yeah, we haven't even got enough dates to fill this season.
There isn't even enough dates to fill the FA Cup, I think, third round.
So, mate, we've got, because of these cancellations, which, you know, some might say are a blessing to us at the moment, where are we putting these 2 games in? I know they're saying, like, I think game week 12 or something like that, but... Like, we can't even fill the quota now, and you want to put this big event on, like Soccer Aid. That's
what it would be to me. Be like, which I would not watch. No. Like,
I mean, this like egotistical thing of like for example, as I said to you last year, I've got this year's the year I want to start watching NFL. I want to watch the NFL because it's that. I want the Americanization, the you know, all the dramatics and stuff. I listened to a few podcasts now, like, and they are a bit far fetched and. But football's not that.
Not everything has to be the same.
This idea that it works in the sport, let's just throw it over here, doesn't work.
No.
That essentially, it's like so many people go, oh, you know, I'm a boxer, I want to try MMA. It's a different world. Like being a decent winger in rugby and then going, you can't, it doesn't just transfer. It's 2 different worlds.
Well, coming back to Potter, like you say, it'd be interesting to know how he will come out and maybe defend when he's asked about it, because he's going to have to pick sides with his owners and say, oh yeah, well, it's actually a good idea, or he's going to have to come out and say, well, which would be interesting for him, because, you know, they're the one who's paying his wages. So
he doesn't strike me as someone who'd go against the grain, really.
No.
But I just think if he gets seen then as just this little, you know, sort of messenger for the owner, it's just going to end one way, because then when he does try and say, I want these transfers, and they say no, they'll bang it out the door then. See you later.
But though, to be fair to him, I mean, listen, you're at Brighton, no disrespect to Brighton, but if Chelsea come along, you go.
Yeah, as a player you are, aren't you?
It's, even as a manager though, I mean, like, you could argue, should he have went, listen, I'm going, if I'm him, I'm going. So...
The clause he's getting on the backside of it.
Exactly, yeah. Just keeping on the Champions League for a minute, Messi, the whole Messi-Ronaldo debate took another turn as Messi's now went 18 seasons. You just imagine players dream of playing one Champions League game.
Yeah.
Or, you know, not even winning it. I mean, obviously that's the dream, but just to say you can play in one game. Imagine playing consecutively in it for 18 years.
The longevity is mad. I mean, the fact that 18 years ago he was playing and, you know, was starting. You know, he started coming off the bench, didn't he? But, I mean, after like 5 sub-appearances, he was playing, wasn't he? And then still 18 seasons on, you're still one of the main men in your team. It's like, it's just...
How many times you won it? 5 or 6?
Yeah, good few, like. But it's just... He probably... They won't be far off again, will he? Do you know what I mean?
So there's
I can't really predict the Champions League this year.
The only other thing as well on Champions League, before we touch on Everton, is Rangers got absolutely tonked.
Yeah.
3-0.
Playing us soon, though.
2 defeats.
We've got them back-to-back now, haven't we?
Yeah, 2 defeats, which is unfortunate for them. I would have liked to have seen them do well, but...
No. I think they put up a good... You know, they took the game to Napoli in a way that we weren't capable of, so...
I mean, it was a good 70 minutes, I think, wasn't it? Until
just
they broke the deadlock.
It just seems like that, because they are batting above their average a little bit, there's a lot of, you know, tackles or, you know, playing on the edge. But I think... I hope that they just finished the... this is not meant to be disrespectful, by the way, or like... You know, patting them on the head like a good dog. It's like, you just hope that they finish the group respectably. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's only twatted 5-0 every game.
You know, they pick up a win at Ibrox maybe, or do you know, something like that. Because
probably not against us, but
hopefully not against us. But it's just that the journey they've got from where they've been to getting back in. I just don't want them to, like, you know, be like, oh, we got here all that time and just got beat every week, or every game.
Ivan Toney getting mentioned for the England. Where the fuck's that come from?
Solid Brentford strike. I mean,
yeah.
If he's, I'm, as you well know, I'm no England fan, but if Ivan Toney's part of your World Cup plans,
that's when you know you've got problems. Yeah,
he's a good player, decent enough striker, but gonna win you the World Cup? No.
No. It's all the mad headlines. It was nearly as mad as everything getting cancelled, to be honest.
So, Yeah.
Well, he's never like lit the Premier League up though, has he, John?
Did he get an attic the other day or something? But
is that what it was? Why people are talking about it?
Yeah.
I mean...
But have you seen the thing when he was bladdered in like Dubai or something and he was like, fuck Brentford?
Yeah.
He's only 26 to be fair, but yeah, I think he started this season strong, 6 games, 5 goals.
I mean, yeah, that's, you know...
But last year...
It's great form.
33 games, 12 goals.
Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on him. You know, it's decent for... Obviously, he's in a Brentford team that's, you know, not going to have a lot of possession, a lot of chances, etc. And he still banged them in, maybe, but...
Yeah, I think...
On international level, though, lad, I mean...
No,
defenders aren't lining up going, shit, fucking Ireland.
Here comes Ivan. No.
No one's saying that, are they?
I think he's just going to play... Would that maybe be Calvert-Lewin's spot if he was fit?
Lad, are you trying to downplay us even more?
Do you think Ivan Toney's better than Lewin?
I think he fucking actually turns up and has a game. Which is half the battle when playing football. You need to be on the pitch.
Yeah, you have to play.
You have to actually put your boots on.
Oh.
On that for Everton, mate, they've got West Ham this weekend. I think this is... I'm not going to be disrespectful and say a 6-pointer, but they both fucking need points quick.
Yeah, they do.
Everton still haven't won this season. Obviously lost the first 2 games, and then I think they've drew 4. West Ham are in a similar vein. Where are they? Bottom are they at the minute?
Yeah, so Everton have played 6, 1-0, drawn 4, lost 2. West Ham played 6, 1-1, drawn 1, lost 4.
Like, this is a must-win for both teams.
To be fair to Everton, they're not scoring any goals, but they've... let me see what they've...
I think, George, we were both, not to blow smoke about arses, we're both right so far on our analysis of Everton. I said they'd be fucked, as in, I really did think they'd go down. But they made some very shrewd transfers, which you said about Cody, Tarkowski, and they've massively shored up defensively, which is why they've managed to draw the last 4, because they do not look like scoring, which was my big worry. They sold the star striker. Calvert-Lewin's never injured. They've offloaded Dele Alli, and when I said it, they had no defensive cover at all. They've brought in good defensive cover, so now they're not getting beat.
But they're not winning.
But they're just not winning.
Yeah. Listen to these goal stats for these two. Both of them. Everton scored 4, conceded 6. West Ham scored 3, conceded 8. This could be an absolute snooze fest.
Yeah. I think 0-0. They can't score, and it's just... Listen, I don't think Everton will go down now, because I think Cody's a great buy for them. I think he really is. He'll be a top player for them. But how are they scoring goals? I'm sorry, but they're not scoring this season.
Yet. What about Leicester City?
Leicester, I think he'll go next, Rodgers.
Lad, they've conceded 16 goals.
They fucked me for my last man competition.
Did they?
Yeah.
They've scored 8, conceded 16. Played 6, drawn 1, lost 5.
Yeah. Bit of a mad one, that, and he's come out a little bit and had to go with the owners a bit as well.
I think Brendan Rodgers is just waiting to get sacked. I think, and then because he's got, you know, they didn't invest and all that stuff.
Hey, how embarrassing would it have to be for you to actually say, you know, take a bit of pride and say, look, I need to leave here. I'm not doing
garbage.
it. Or wait for you to get sacked and get your pay back. Because if he leaves Leicester now, he's not getting... No. If he leaves on his own accord, he's not getting his compensation.
Lad, if I was him...
I'd love to just be a fly on the wall in like a football club when you know you're shit. You know everyone hates you. Like Roy Hodgson, for example, at Liverpool. Yeah. Imagine those like the final few days and everyone's like, Roy, just resign. Yeah. And he's just like, just one more shit performance, lads, and I'm getting me 5 mil. It must be such an awkward time in a club like Leicester now.
But Brendan's ego is out of control. Yeah. So
I wonder if he's still got that portrait of himself.
Yeah. He got a little tiny one of his kids. That's what he did have, like, the table, literally like a passport photo of his kids and just him like that in a Swansea.
Weird, that one.
But yeah, I think he'd be sat in the office now just going, not going to be long, boys.
I reckon he'd be buying houses like in Marbella, in, you know, Portugal, near the golf resort, just getting his people to look. He knows how much he's going to get when he gets sacked, and he's just got people going, what's that one, 2 million? Yeah, okay. Any others on the market right now? Okay, well, I'll have a deposit on that soon and give it him the week. if we got this weekend.
As soon as I leave Maddison on the bench, we're done. Who have they got this weekend? Let's have a look. Oh my God, Saturday looks depressing. Wolves vs City. And
that's another fucking 7-0. Haaland's getting 4.
One game at 3 o'clock. is Newcastle versus Bournemouth, and then Brendan Rodgers' last game is away at Spurs at 5:30 on Saturday night.
Just sack Rodgers. You've heard it here first.
Yeah.
You know what?
Get your dough.
Hey, Muskie, our producer Musk, if he goes,
Yeah.
that's the fucking real.
Yeah, literally.
Rodgers' last game.
And then Super Sunday, Brentford Arsenal, Everton West Ham. Oh, 2 draws there.
What I and listen, any Evertonians as well. I mean, let me know what you think. I think that's just a general theme in the city. Though anyone I've spoke to, any Blues, it's just like,
you know, a lot of Everton fans might be excited about the return of Calvert-Lewin, and I guess, you know, when he's one of your own, you do get behind it. But
yeah,
for me, it's just like, how long is he going to be fit for? And you know, history tells you not that long. But you know, good luck to him.
Last one on the foosball. Beth Mead has come out. Says she's gay.
Seen this, yeah.
And what I just think's great, and maybe this isn't the best way to tackle racism or sexism. It's probably why I'm not a politician. But in my eyes, stop fucking talking about it. Like, we're just all like,
be yourself.
You're black, I'm white, you're whatever. Do you know what I mean? I just think you're gay, I'm not asked.
Yeah, I think that, you know, that's a fair and valid point. But a lot of what I seen from here was that, wasn't it? She was like, I'm trying to make it a...
It's just, I'm
not trying
asked,
to make
like,
it a thing that this is just me. Like.
Exactly, so fair play to her.
Yeah,
that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Golf, we had the...
Yeah, it's my favourite part of the show.
Well, I don't know if you watched any of it. Wentworth was at the weekend.
I've seen a little bit.
And it was a win for the good guys. It was a win for the good guys.
It was close to not being, though. The leaderboard was dominated a little bit, and I thought this is going to be great, but then, yeah, he had to ruin it for me.
Is it Lowry, was it?
Yeah.
He won it, and McIlroy came so close, by the way, to taking it to it.
But McIlroy was almost cheering him. Yes, he's one of us.
Well, that's what it's become. It's become like, let's just cheer for anyone who's not live.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's what happened. So McIlroy was unlucky. He had an eagle, I think, on the second to last. Which was very unlucky, by the way.
Can we just get to the main story of that fella saying, I've seen it, Greg Norman, is it?
What did he say?
So he's the chief executive of LIV. He was like, we're not the problem, PGA the problem.
Ah, really?
Yeah. He said, we're not trying to destroy them, they're trying to destroy us. I've tried to sit down with them, and now he's like, don't care, I'm not sitting down with them anyway. So he's turning it into a proper big brother moment.
Yeah, it's become way too personal.
Yeah.
Like, way too personal.
Way too personal.
Like, McIlroy's come out again and doubled down on his stance and was like, the LIV players will not be welcome at the Ryder Cup. Do you know what I mean? It's becoming, like, so bad. I don't know how golf recovers from this.
No, I don't.
Because, you know, the problem is, right, it's like business now. It's like when money's involved.
Yeah.
Really stupid example, and apologize, just bear with me for a minute. My dad was a fireman for 30 years, right? When they went on strike for better pay, there were people called scabs, as they're known as, who went back to work and carried on working. My dad never worked for fucking 3 or 4 months. As a single parent, was skint. After 4 months, the strike stops, everything goes back to normal, and then everyone goes back to work together. The problem is, for 4 months, my half-brother had not been paid a penny, and the guy he's meant to be working next to has been paid 3 times as much as he normally does because he went back to work. How do you then sit everyone down and go, right, we're all friends again now, guys, we're all going to go and put fires out together, when my half-fella's sitting there going, last 4 months I've earned nothing, you've earned fucking 10 grand.
Yeah.
Now, times that by a
couple of mil.
You know, that's the problem you've got. How can you then sit down and go, listen, you went away for a year and made 57 million in 3 tournaments, and I've been travelling to fucking Iceland, Sweden, fucking Ukraine probably, earning about 40 grand.
The Baltic Open, they're over there in the field, aren't they? Come on.
I've seen a few of them on Bootle the other day playing. How do you do that? How do you repair that?
You don't. Mate, a lot of relationships are now destroyed. Like, he said, hasn't he? He said that Greg Norman, I've got no interest in sitting down with him because now our product's working, is what he said. And that's a case of like, well, if you don't want to work together, when our product's going to be better than yours, our players are going to be better than yours, our players are going to get this, your players are going to get that, and it becomes like a, probably not the right phrase, but like a civil war, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All under the one roof, fighting against each other. But I mean,
it feels like, right, you've had a big gang of mates for years from school, right?
Yeah.
And someone's shagged someone's bird or something bladdered, and now there's just a proper divide in the group.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough, but. How much do you reckon Amazon are offering LIV?
Oh my God. I wish they'd done like an Amazon behind the scenes whilst this was going on.
I think they have.
Imagine that, lad.
I know in a couple of months we're going to get the Instagram drop. I think I've said it at past shows. We're going to get the drop and it's going to be out on Monday.
Mr. Bezos could charge me £200 a month for Amazon and I'd fucking pay it.
I am watching it.
I'd fucking pay it.
I would.
Not much to speak too much on tennis this week. I did think it was... We've had this debate, haven't we, about Andy Murray, and on Patreon we spoke about it. People were saying I'm harsh on Andy Murray and he is one of the greatest. I had this chat again with a few lads I was out with at the weekend who are bang into the tennis, and it came to a pretty much unanimous decision that Andy Murray is not in the top 10.
He is?
He's fucking not.
He is.
George, me and you are fair weather tennis fans. I was speaking to 3 lads who play tennis, who like are big on tennis, and they were all like, is he fuck? So I'm going to side with the knowledge and say he's definitely not. Anyway, Murray come out and he was like, I'm going to go and honour the Queen in the Davis Cup. And he's like, yeah, really? And then about 12 hours after the interview, he gets beat.
Oh, no, Andy. Andy.
I'm not laughing at him getting beat, but, you know...
That, do you know...
I thought that was quite, you know...
Raducanu got a victory, didn't she?
Yeah, she's in the... Is it Slovakia?
Yeah.
In the
I seen she got a victory, but...
She's playing today, so she might have been beat by the time this goes out.
I was all over that Alcaraz, mate. He's some player.
Oh, well, yeah.
As a self-confessed fair weather tennis fan, but someone who really enjoys it, he's good in, mate.
He's brilliant, yeah.
19.
Longest
slam champion since Nadal.
Mm-hmm. Well, out of the big 3, if you like, he beat 2 of them. I think he was younger than Novak and Roger. Nadal did beat him. Nadal was younger, but mate, listen, it's all there for him to almost... I know I am really talking him up now, but it's all there for him to follow in Nadal's footsteps.
He looks like a new generation of tennis player, doesn't he? Like not sort of... I'm not saying for any minute saying he's better than them 3, but it's just like, I don't know, what something about him. He looks like a regen, doesn't he?
I just think like it's like that kind of fresh meat. It's a little bit like, I think it coincides.
He looks so strong.
Of like, you know, those 3 coming to an end. I know Novak's kind of not retired or nothing, but the other 2 look like they're pretty much, you know. I think it's just there for him now to go and just start absolutely smoking everyone. Yeah,
he's some player, him at 19. If he can keep it all together, you know, and he doesn't suffer what you'd call like obviously the media curse, then I think it's all there for him to go and just dominate, mate. Unless, you know, I know there's players around him, but from what I've seen and what I can judge, he just looks a different kettle of fish completely. Yeah,
that's it on tennis. Big ones from this weekend just gone, and this weekend was the UFC and boxing. UFC first, because that was fucking boss.
Yeah, but like, it was maddest couple of days that you'll ever get.
Yeah, I personally, I'll kind of give my say in it, and then you kind of give me your, you know, expert UFC knowledge. But as much as I like that Khamzat, he's fucking mega unprofessional and pissed me off. Like, I really want him to do well, and listen, I think whether we all want him to do well or not, I think he's gonna just fucking kill everyone.
Kill everybody.
But like, I'm half glad that he didn't fight Diaz, because I was a little bit scared for Diaz.
Yeah.
But you can't like he literally just cracked his own. And I think it was almost a little bit like they almost planned on it. I mean, it worked out too well, I think.
Yeah.
Bit of a conspiracy around it, I don't know.
Yeah, well, there was that big conspiracy that it was all planned, but I don't know whether you'd get... The only reason I don't think it was... You wouldn't get the likes of Kevin Haaland go, yeah, go ahead, I'll take a harder fight, you can pay me more, but I just don't reckon you would. I don't think you get all them...
Yeah, but like, these fighters, they fancy themselves, though, into beating...
No, yeah, and I get that, but say, for example, you
got
Khamzat, Nate, Tony Ferguson, Kevin Haaland, and the 2 legends of Li Jingliang and Daniel Rodriguez, and you sat them all down and gone, what we're going to do, lads, is we're actually going to flip the card all the way around. I don't think you'd get them all to agree. You just wouldn't. There's too many egos. Because Nate, there's no way Nate would want to be looking to like go, oh, I'm taking an easier fight. He'd be like, he would 100% have been in that way on Friday, thinking I'm going to batter Khamzat Chimaev.
Okay, it might not have been sit everyone down, but maybe Khamzat was when kind of right. Look, I don't think I'm going to make this weight.
Mate, he didn't even try.
And if I pick a fight with him, rather than me not make weight and look like a, you know, unprofessional or whatever I'm going to look at, if I maybe start a bit of beef backstage and then this, I don't know, lad. I think there was more to it.
I think he does want to be. He's gone from everyone going Khamzat to being booed everywhere he goes. So he is the villain now, and I just think, have you ever seen a person better prepared to play a villain? in your entire life.
No, I seen you tweeted that, and he's like what do you call it, a heel?
Yeah, he is the perfect heel.
He is the perfect heel. I've seen that,
because if he comes out getting booed and he's got some moody, like, Chechen music on, it's just like, he's just sort of made for it, isn't he? But when you break it all down, what he done to Kevin Haaland, frightening, mate. Frightening.
We had, for anyone as well, on who's on Patreon, we had Black Thunder, or Scouse Thunder.
Keeping a Jago.
Amazing lad on the podcast this week. We talk obviously boxing with him. I get a little bit scared, me lad, when I watch combat sport.
I know, because you're just inferior.
Well, yeah, I just think, like, you know, sometimes when someone's like, we spoke about Callum Smith, and I was there when he won the European title, and you're just a bit like, oh lad, all right,
I ain't taking them.
Yeah, you've stopped. Come on, you got. When he just, what do you call it? Like, he shot for Haaland 3 seconds in.
Literally, he went like Haaland went for the tap, didn't he?
And he just ragdolled him, and I was just like, I feel a bit
choke that he puts
feel
on.
A bit awkward now.
Mate, he put the choke on, the dart on, and then he goes, it's not quite there. Or Haaland actually defends quite well. Mate, he literally just puts his leg around the other side and goes, no, you're not going nowhere. But if he was doing that to me and you'd go, oh, he's boss him. Lad, Kevin Haaland is a career mixed martial art. He's not some mug who just gets thrown around. And he literally threw him around like he was a mug.
Lad, he got ragdolled everywhere.
And then tapped. But, I mean, a couple of minutes in the first round, it's crazy, innit? But it's now what he does, whether he goes back down to welterweight or he stays at middleweight.
Where would be the easiest, like, route to the
well, Adesanya's the middleweight champion, and I mean, Chimaev versus Adesanya is probably the fucking biggest fight you're ever going to see in your life. But his mate Darren Till's a middleweight, isn't he? I honestly think they might fight one day.
Well, that'd be made up for, like, once friends. It'd be the whole thing you again, won't it?
Seen Tom Hardy's movie? The two brothers fight.
Oh yeah.
But
what was the rivalry a few months back?
Covington Masvidal.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Be that on a bigger scale, because they're in business and everything together, these two now, like with the whole Smash Bros. But yeah, I mean, who beats Chimaev and where he goes next is anyone's guess. But when Khamzat Chimaev next fights, mate, tickets will be out for a minute, if that. He's now the biggest draw in the sport.
Do you reckon?
By far, because 50% of the sport hate him, 50% of the sport love him. And when you look at people like Covington, for example, where, you know, loads of people hate him, but he's still not that much of a draw. Chimaev's got it all. And he knows exactly how to do, you know, he speaks enough English to do scary interviews. I just think, he's not the biggest draw in the sport in terms of, like, accomplishments and champion status and stuff like that. But I mean, in terms of, if you sat UFC fans down and went, whose fight are you waiting for to hear from next?
Yeah, and I agree with that.
It's Khamzat Chimaev. That's you want to know what he's doing next. But
so talk to me about the pounded. What's middleweight?
Middleweight is 185.
What's the lower one then?
170.
70.
Yeah. So he should have been.
Why was McGregor giving him shit years ago? Called him rat lip, didn't he?
Yeah, because he's just got a thing against anyone from, like, even remotely
Chechen way type thing.
He's just got a map. And he's just like, anyone from there, I'm just against. But yeah, so middleweight's 185, and then welterweight, you got 170. So he should have made 170 for this fight, or 171, because it's not a.
But McGregor fought at 170, didn't he?
Yeah. But McGregor's best days were obviously 145, 155.
Yeah.
Then he went up to 170.
For Diaz.
To fight Diaz.
Yeah.
They've got to do it again.
I was just thinking whether that fight would ever happen.
McGregor? No way.
No, but imagine that, lad.
McGregor would probably take it on him, but
they probably. I mean, weight-wise, it could happen, couldn't it?
Oh yeah, there's a weight to be found between them, but
that would be fucking hilarious. That.
I just think.
I just imagine the press conference, lad.
Oh, it'd be crazy, wouldn't it? I reckon. I don't know. If I was the UFC, what I would do is navigate them towards middleweight and try and do Chimaev versus Adesanya in the first ever UFC Africa. That's what I'd do.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Get a proper, like, groundbreaking night. This monster against...
In, like, Manila or something like that.
Yeah, like, just fucking go with it. Imagine him landing in Africa.
I'd kill everyone in Africa.
Yeah. I'd kill everybody. I love his interviews, you know.
Yeah, he's... Listen, I just thought... I do like him. I am a fan of his, but I just thought, mate,
it was crazily...
unprofessional.
Yeah, man. But I'm going to be totally honest. he was really unprofessional, but I'm sitting here and I'm not saying a word just in case I ever come across him.
No.
And he just
No, but I'd like to say, I'd have to, like Rogan said to him, didn't he, in the interview?
Yeah.
I'd just be like
that, Joe.
Listen, mate, come on, you just admit you bit a little bit, but I still like you. But you know,
that was boss, that boy. Couldn't you make weight? But
Diaz got the win as well.
Yeah, for a mad fight.
Which I know was a bit mad, wasn't it?
Just like 2 half fellas, wasn't it?
I thought the choke that he had on was a bit mad as well.
Yeah, the guillotine, but
it didn't look like it was properly in. But
no, once Tony Ferguson fell into that, there's a lot of exhaustion. He's not quite the fighter he was, and it was just the fact that when he had it, he sort of lifted his arm up like that, so he couldn't. But he was just giving it the old.
Yeah,
stop
funny, wasn't it? Yeah.
He's the man, isn't he, Diaz, mate? He is the man. Do
you think that's him then done?
I think he'll go and fight Jake Paul.
Do you reckon?
Jake Paul's fighting Anderson Silva, isn't he? I think if he wins that, I think he might actually get beat, but probably won't allow him to get beat. But I think he'll go and fight him, yeah. And then I also hope that he's told the UFC, because that was the last fight, I'm not staying around. And I just hope Connor's watched it and gone, that's me comeback fight.
Yeah.
I want to do Diaz in Vegas.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Diaz, everyone's going to watch Diaz McGregor for you. You're just going to eat it up.
And I watched Diaz McGregor too about 3 nights ago.
That's what I mean. It still sells.
One of the best tactical fights, I think, ever.
Yeah.
Those leg kicks and how it played out was brilliant.
Yeah. Exceptional, mate. I don't know, it's still there. And I mean, I know McGregor gave him a couple of nice compliments, and then they asked Nate about it in the press conference. He was like, fuck him.
Did he? Yeah. What, any UFC this weekend?
Yeah, so it's obviously a much smaller card this weekend, but the main event, which is one of my favourite names and a fight I'm really excited about, Song Yadong fighting Corey Sandhagen. It's a great fight. It's actually on, like, not too late this time. So if you were like me and you were up at 3 o'clock last weekend watching our 6 and 6 come in on Patreon.
Oh yeah. Oh, Canelo. Should have started the show talking about that.
I reckon we'd finish with it.
Yeah, okay.
We're not quite done yet, but yeah, it was 6 for 6. What can you do on that?
No, I'm talking about it now, lad. It was too good. So Jordan put his betting show up last week, picked 6 picks and nailed all 6. Ends up being a 70-1 accumulator. One of our Patreons put 20 quid on it and fucking took home
£1,600, yeah. Someone paid for an whole day.
I think all in all, people must have won over $5,000.
But it was the ones where, you know, so I think some lad, you know, placed a fiver on 4 of them that returned £205. Like, if you put a fiver of your own money,
yeah,
and then you wake up to £200 on a Sunday,
you're flying,
bang, done. But
that happens we don't win like that every Saturday, but we have, you know, we win more than we don't, and that's every Saturday that you get with your £1 a week. So,
and it's back this weekend for, as the aforementioned, Song Yadong, but also Triple G Canelo 3, innit? Yeah.
Before we talk about this weekend's boxing, can we talk about which is a pantomime but might actually become...
What's fucking happening?
Well, I was going to say might actually be a thing, which this table might start rising, be the fucking erection I might be fucking getting right now if this does happen. I would be so excited for that, you know.
December 3rd. Do you know what December 3rd is as well?
What?
The Patreon day out.
Oh, at Aintree racecourse, yeah.
So you'd be doing Aintree.
Wow.
And then you'd be waiting for Joshua Fiore.
And then the World Cup's on as well, isn't it? England played the next day.
Ah, fuck that.
No, but I mean, it's a weekend of sport.
Such better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, mate, I was doubting it. But it sounds like Joshua's told Eddie Hearn, whatever they offer, accept. Because Eddie said there was no negotiation. They told us this is the offer, take or leave it. December 17. Then he said, don't want to do December 17. It's December 3rd or nothing. And Joshua's just gone, yep. Now,
I think he kind of asked to though, doesn't he?
Yeah. But you now think, is Anthony Joshua saying yeah because he's going to come out like an absolute lunatic on December the 3rd, Mike Tyson style, knock Fury out and go, I'm back and I took no money for it. This is the AJ 2.0. It's happening. Or is he coming off the back of the Usyk fight and he's gone, it's not there anymore, don't want to do this, haven't got the fire in the belly I once had, where's the most money? And you're not going to know that until you hear ding ding on December the 3rd.
Lads, there's just so many variables, lads.
If Joshua knocked Fury out, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if Joshua started the year the way he did, had that meltdown, got beat by Usyk, Fury's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and then at the end of the year, Joshua wins by knockout.
Oh, mate.
That is probably one of the biggest upsets you're ever going to see.
He's just so good. If that happens, mate, wow.
Principality Stadium, mate, it's on.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
But again, you know, we could... The reason, you know, I come into today's show and I was like, I really want to talk about it, but then somewhere in me
I don't know what
is
you
like...
mean, yeah. You're just waiting for a Tyson Fury
like,
tweet to go, you bum, I'm not fucking paying you, whatever, and then it's
I
off.
want to, for people who are listening, for our boxing input, when that happens, mate, 45 minutes of this show will be dedicated to
fucking
that.
right.
But we'll be
something that we might not be able to dedicate any time to because it doesn't look like it's happening was Conor Ben and Eubank.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's one of them. It's
his dad's come out and said he's already lost one son. Don't want to lose another because of the weight cut.
But now Ben Eubank's actually put something out saying, you know, however many days until the fight or something. So you don't know, do you? I think it's a
mind games.
No, yeah, they've got a rehydration clause in there. I'm thinking it might be a case of we want rid of that rehydration clause. If you don't, we're not doing it, because Eddie's in a position where he's put up a lot of money. He might take it away, or do you know what I mean? It's one of them. But yeah, I think it'll go ahead. I just think seniors just being senior, isn't he?
Yeah. And then the fighting this weekend and the old Triple G and Canelo. Did you see on there before you get into the actual fight? I thought it was good how Canelo gets out the limousine, whatever he's in his car.
Seen Beefy.
Just sees Beefy and walks straight over.
Yeah, that's great.
That's respect, that, innit?
Yeah, it is.
Properly respect for two warriors there, and brilliant, that.
Yeah, brilliant. But I just feel like it's passed everyone by this a bit. Don't really see the excitement for it. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel the excitement for it. I was sat with myself yesterday thinking, am I even going to get up and watch it? And that's not me. I just think, well, Triple G, the last couple of years, there's not been like the whole Triple G. I'm not saying it's him, but I just mean the Triple G bandwagon, if you like. Yeah,
I was there.
Now.
That's what I mean. I was there when he beat Kell Brook. It was one of the best fights I've been to. I've never seen anyone close the ring off so well.
Oh, yeah, he's a beast.
As Triple G. I'm a massive fan of his, but yeah, I agree. It's kind of passed me by a little bit.
It's like, you know, Canelo coming after the feet, and, you know, Canelo's had like over 60 fights now. How mad is that? But I don't know. I feel like they've pulled Golovkin to his absolute edge until he actually taken a fight. I don't ever think Canelo's beat him in the two fights they've had. I think it was a draw and Golovkin won clearly. And I just think, just in order for them to definitely get a win, they've pulled it out to as long as they can. And now I think everyone sits there and understands that Golovkin's not quite what he was. That said, I'd love him to iron Canelo out this weekend. One last right hand. But I just don't. I've got to be honest, like a little insight into the betting show. Hopefully you come over for the whole thing, because the undercard, by the way, Bam Rodriguez is on.
Before you get into the undercard, can I just make one last kind of little, what would you call it? One last, like, link to the Queen.
One more.
I just think that, you know, the way the Queen's the Queen and everyone's like what she's saved at this country and stuff like that, and everyone forgets like the tiny minor £12 million payoff, which we won't mention, but you know, same with Canelo. Yeah, like unbelievable, and everyone just forgets the tiny little drugs thing that he missed.
Just that little drug test. But that's what infuriates me.
The Queen and Canelo were so like
literally. That's the only podcast where you get comparing the Queen and Canelo.
It's so similar though when you think. There's like so many.
The models of it is 100%.
So many great things to look at, but there's just this fucking elephant in the corner.
Big hole.
And the elephant's pretty fucking paedophile, druggish. A paedophile, drugged up elephant.
The elephant's a grey area.
It's a drugged up paedophile elephant in the corner. That's the link. That's the tenuous link between Canelo and the Queen.
That's what annoys me. People I respect, people from this city I respect, will see Jarrell Miller and go, hashtag ban drug cheats. He's the worst thing. And then Canelo fights. It's like, Viva Mexico. Let's go. Mariachi band.
Cinco de Mayo.
It's like, fucking pick a side. Yeah. Please pick a side and pick the right side. And I'll break the fight down obviously more on the betting show, but you know, I think Canelo's got Triple G at the right time. Triple G was getting caught a lot more than he ever has in his last fight. But I think, it's not the fight it ever was, and that's what annoys me the most. Even though DAZN will try and sell it to you that way, but I think any boxing fan can see it's not the fight it was. But the undercard's good. We got a British fighter on there, Kieran Conway. fighting Amo Williams. You got Bam Rodriguez on there. Akhmedov versus Gabe Rosado. So, yeah, really good card. Main event is what it is, but, you know, I pray with everything I've got, even though I said on Patreon this week I don't pray, but with everything I've got, I hope Golovkin lands one last big one.
No, I'd like that.
Just before we go off, we missed a couple of Patreon suggestions last week just because we didn't have that much time. So we've got about 4 minutes of the show left. I'm just going to fire some questions at you.
Go.
Right? Quick. Updates on the Ginger Army. Should we give one of them?
Oh, yeah.
Someone asked that. So the Ginger Army is obviously my dad's horses. There is a horse going on Friday called Bagheera Ginge. Today, yeah. Newton Abbey. So I'll put the time and stuff up and you can follow that. But the Ginger Army is growing and getting better than it's ever been. Yeah. All of them ones we've done, by the way. We've done all the tennis updates.
So the thing as well, I won't call anyone out dead quick. All your minge bags, Patreon's a place to be. We're planning a Christmas night out. And there's also some videos of me and George playing some sports, which will be getting released, I think, this week. So again, you can only see it when you're on Patreon. So
yeah, I've got 2 for you.
Go on.
Is it fair for dart and snooker players to be classed as professional athletes? No, we're all thinking it.
Snooker, I'd say.
It's not. It's a hobby, that, dude.
Snooker's a hobby?
Yeah.
Fuck off,
you can be really good at
bastard.
it. It's a hobby, lad.
Snooker's a hobby?
Yeah.
Nah.
There's no...
I think the only
definition
reason...
of sport is physical competition.
The only reason I think snooker and darts have to deal with this is because it was basically born in a pub. That's why.
But you don't have to...
Lad, that's Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Exactly.
Do you know how hard it is to do 147?
I 100% agree.
And you're calling that a hobby?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ronnie.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but it is.
I think professional snooker is a sport. I'd say darts is a...
But your theory is a 147 so hard to do.
I think it's the hardest thing to do.
And 9 darters just as hard. So why is that not a sport? It's because they wear flare jackets.
It's a hard one. It's a hard one. What would I say? If you're going to put a gun to me head and I had to pick one, I'd say...
You are thinking no, but you're mates with Ronnie O'Sullivan. That is what you're watching or listening to right now. He knows Ronnie might give him a little slight text and call. And
I wish Ronnie listens to this. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. It's a hard one, isn't it?
No, it's not hard. It's not. It's not a sport.
I'm gonna say yes for snooker, no for darts.
Because he's mates with Ronnie O. Ronnie O is a legend, by the way. Legend.
A legend of hobbies, apparently.
Yeah. If you could have one job within sport, apart from being an actual professional, what would it be? Always thought a kitman would be okay. An interesting one for me.
Yeah.
Great question.
That is a great... I know a kitman who's just only recently got a job with Liverpool. It's one of those jobs, though, that you can only get because you know someone on there. And then it's someone's... That is a great one.
I know a lad who's got a great job in football. So he's at Liverpool. He was at Liverpool. He's now moved to another Premier League club. He is... he's the loan man. So basically, everyone who goes out on loan, he just travels around the country watching games.
Fuck that, lad. Couldn't be arsed with that.
I could. He goes going footy every weekend watching little games here and there.
Okay, I'm going to just fucking kill that dream right away. So you're at Liverpool doing this job, right? And they send fucking 18-year-old fucking whatever down to Bristol City. And on a Tuesday night, go, what's happening, George? Come to watch Liverpool in the Champions League. Got your ticket there. Actually, mate, I'm just on the M5 going to watch little fucking mini Michael Owen at Bristol playing fucking...
But then fast forward 40 years at Christmas. I remember when he was on loan at Bristol City. I was there. I was watching him.
A kitman would be decent if you were like doing one of the big European teams.
I think a broadcaster would be bosh, you know. You know, like on BT Sport, you just traveling the world.
I've seen like Carragher, Richards and Henry do the CBS one. That looks a good laugh.
Yeah. It would be brilliant, that.
I think I'd say referee, but obviously they get a bit of shit, don't they? But it'd still be...
Hell, referee, man. Footy plod.
Yeah, maybe not.
Imagine you dishing out the cards.
Dana White would be a boss.
Promoter.
Yeah, promoter I'm going to go for.
Yeah. You'd be a good promoter, you know.
Eddie Hearn or like...
Welcome to Liverpool, AG Promotions. Now I'm going to face him off.
Yeah, I'd go promoter. But Kitman would be
Kitman would be boss because you get to be pally with all the lads and that, don't you?
Yeah, I know, but I think sometimes if you were hanging around with your Mo Salahs and your Virgil van Dijks all day
and just throwing your bills at you,
Do you know what I
Come
mean?
on, boys.
It gets to a point where you think you're one of the boys.
Yeah.
You would be one of the boys, and then they all get in their boss cars, go home to their big boss houses when they have fit birds with the chefs and the cleaners.
You're on the 10,
And you go back to fucking Bootle and you're fucking sitting there. And,
With you in the hyperbar.
Yeah. That's when I think you'd end up thinking you were a footballer, and then you'd get the reality check, you're just a kit man.
Yeah, but they're suggestions from Patreon, so get involved on them. Just a little shout out to Joseph Sefton, who threw in quite a lot that we actually covered, and he asked for a fancy football review, so I reckon we should do a separate video on that when it comes back, because we're breaking up, aren't we? But people did win the first game week.
Yeah, so we pay out every 5, 10s, every week.
We just need to work out when that next thing's going to be, when there's a full game week. But yeah, shout out Joseph Sefton, who asked a lot of questions, so keep them coming, lad. Yeah, and keep supporting the pod. Obviously, we know we've got a core kind of listeners of Sportscast viewers, if you like. So come and join us on Patreon. It's £1 a week. You don't have me calling you a minge bag on Patreon. The word minge bag doesn't even get used because you're all supporting it like the legends you are. So come and get involved, enjoy the perks, and have a boss weekend. See you later.